Welcome, this is Charlie. We are going to work on the outside of the album for Stamperia's Art of Travelling. And I pretty much got mine all laid out. I'm going to be using a gold ribbon for my closure. So if you want, you can pick whatever ribbon you want. Like I said, I chose gold because I thought it looked kind of sassy with this. And I do sell this on my Etsy site. So what I've got going here is I'm using that mid green. And this is going to be my front. I've chosen to use this piece here. And how I'm going to lay this out is I'm using the ephemera, little bug car. And then I'm going to I fussy cut out the lamppost. And I fussy cut out some luggage and I backed it on the green cardstock just to give it some depth. And then here's the ephemera set of luggage. I cut out and mounted on chipboard the word travel story that's on one of the card apart pages. And then from your collection, when you're cutting and trimming up one of these pieces, there was quite a bit of paper that had some little fun cutouts, so that's what I did. You can find this on the cut apart page, but I used the one that was left over from the piece I cut for the back. So we're going to put one of the little stamps that says good for 35 cents. It's going to sit under here. And then 50 cents is going to come in over here. Now these aren't set in proper place right at the moment, but they will be when I put them down. And then this stamp that says Baltimore Mail Line is going to go underneath New York, London, New York, Paris. And then I have this here, which is a double that cuts, and then I cut out the word KO. No, I think it's chow. This threw me for a loop. That's chow. And then there's a gold leaf that is a part of your cut aparts. They all came off this piece here. So we'll get back to that in just a moment. So this is somewhat what it's going to look like. We're going to pop this up so it stands up off the page a little bit. And we're going to do the same with this so that we can tuck some things in behind it. And then, so that's the front. And then on the side, there were excuse me, I'm kind of rambling here. Trying to get my rhythm again after taking a couple of months off. This piece here is off of this piece, so it's a continuation. And then this came out of the Fussy Cuts sheet, these two tulips. And then I cut out the word travel, mounted it on green cardstock, and it'll go right here on the spine. And then again, this piece here is what I used. This was what the 12 by 12 together looked like. And this we're going to use in a minute, so don't toss it. But this is our back page. And you know, it's got enough busyness going on with it. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to put anything on it. But this is how it's going to lay out. And we're going to get a ribbon set in first. But before we do all that, once you have that back piece cut, you're going to want this. And from this, we are going to cut a 3/8 border, a 1/2 inch border, 3/8, 3/8, 1/2 inch, 3/8, 3/8, ½ inch, 3/8. If this will all come off of there, it might not, but I'm gonna do my best. I've got some extra left over. And the reason I do this is the pages are going to be sufficient enough for us to do some really good fun stuff with them. But I like to build up. So there's going to be an 1/8 of an inch build up and as much as a 1/4 of an inch build up. So if we take our pages all the way to this fold line, when we go to turn the pages over, that buildup of that signature is going to land here in this hinge, and then the pages are not going to lay over. They're going to end up bowing like this. So we're going to back off 3/8 of an inch, and then we can line up our paper. I'm going to use this as an example. So if this is on there as 3/8 of an inch, we're going to line this up just a hair over that, and then we're going to trim our paper so that it comes within 1/8 of an inch of the edge of this. Actually, I'm quite a bit over. Well, but so we're going to come in within 1/8 of an inch of this edge. And then we're going to build that signature. So we're going to have some flaps, and by the time you start adding flaps, the height on this is going to increase. So that's why I put this on there, so that I make sure that my marker's in place, so when I lay this down and then I go to turn it over, this edge that's going to have those buildups is going to fall in this 3/8 of an inch, so that it's not falling into the hinge, so that they will lay over a lot better. So these are 8 7/8. We're going to go ahead and trim this down to 8 7/8. Come on. Sorry about that. Had to let my dog out. Okay. So we're going to cut this to 8 7/8, and we're going to get as many slices as we can out of this. Now, we'll have an opportunity to cut into this again, and when we do, we'll be able to continue this pattern. So there's 3/8, so I'm going to see how far this is going to take me. So there's 3/8. Here's a half. Here's 3/8. And this is the part that a follower did not do and couldn't understand why her pages weren't laying flat. So it was quite a bit of a disappointment for her. So that's 3/8. This is a half, and then 3/8. And it looks like we're going to have just a hair over 3/8. So that will go here. So I will look to hopefully going down the road a ways, be able to fill in for these two spots here using the same collection paper. Now I need to trim these down just a smidge. And then we're going to place these in here throughout. All right. So I am going to finish this piece here after I complete the video, because I'm going to go trim my other two pieces, but just to let you know that that's what you will want to do, or your pages aren't going to lay straight. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's start covering the outside. First things first, I got to put my ribbon on. Now, I am using, hold on here just a second. I am using a Fray Check by Dritz. You can get this anywhere. Okay, so that end is, okay, and then we're going to do this one. All right. Green goes down first. Now, when I cut this, I did so watching these three edges here, because this is going to have a roll, it's going to have a bump in it because of the gusset that we've got here. And you'll find that this is going to be wider here than I'm allowing, but that can't be helped because, again, that's where that gusset is. So we're going to go ahead and tape this in place. And let me get my tape. And then I'm going to put one in the center so that we don't have that bubble effect where the paper isn't all the way down. Okay. And just take another look how this is going to set. Just trying to square this up here. All right, we're going to put the spine piece in next. I had somebody, well, I've had a few people message me about this tool. I don't know if you know what it is, but it is called a tape and tear tool, and you can get it at Scrap and Create, and I do provide the links for this in the description field. And I'm going to put just a little bit of tape right there. You can pop this up if you want to, and you can use it this way. I don't. I like using it just flat, but everybody has their preference. Okay, I'm going to line this up across the bottom and line it up across the top. Now we'll put the back piece on. Oh, that roll's dead. Gives me a good excuse to use this little piece right here. Okay. There it is. And again, I'm watching the 3 outer edges, and where it lands along the spine, it is what it is. And it looks like I got my tape a little over the edge. All right, so now we're going to go back. Those are my strips. We're going to go back to, let's do the back. It's quick, it's easy, and it is pretty much ready to go. I need to put some tape on this. Excuse the crackle, I apologize. And then I'm gonna put a couple of strips here because I don't want this doing this, popping up and down when you're turning pages over. I want my paper really secure to the cardstock. All right, so hopefully I can square this up. Trying to get it nice and even all the way around. Okay, the back is done. Let's move on forward. We're going to do the spine. This I'm just going to glue on. I don't need to use a whole bunch of tape for such a small piece. And we're going to get our tulips. Okay. I've got stickies on my fingers, so that just kind of took a little fly off there. All right, so we're going to do this. And then I want my small word, my travel. And this will go right here. Okay. Now, I'm going to cap this off real quick. You can do so much with this collection. When I was looking at some of the sentiments, this can be almost anything. So when we get to the front of this, I'm going to show you how you might change this around, because I'm treating it kind of as a travel. You know, this is the road, these are your storefronts or living quarters. So I took travel story and I put it right here. But let me get to this. Could be a friend's trip over a sea of clouds, like you've flown someplace, life experiences, bon voyage, travel, explore, freedom. You could pretty much take almost any of these and replace this up here so that it suits your particular desire for how this is going to read. I got this off of here, off of the cut aparts. So you can also cut this out, Bon Voyage, and you can cut out art gallery upstairs if you're actually in a nice cool place that has art galleries and that's where you took your trip. So you're not limited to the title I'm using. You can use almost any title that you see fit. If you are a Cricut person, you can make your own sentiment and put on there. All right, so let's start putting this together. Got to get all my pieces now. They've kind of flown all over the place. Now the ephemera are adhesive back, and but I want to pop this up, so I've got some long adhesives that I'm going to put on the back of this, but I've got to get this strip off first. Get off of there. And I want to take one for there and one for there. And then I'm just going to take what's left over and put it in the center, because I want this up off the page a little bit. So it's going to sit roughly here. And then I'm going to come in with the lamp post. This cut out. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this ephemera piece. Get the back off of this. First one was easy. Sometimes it's, for me, I don't know about you, but for me it sometimes is a bit of a challenge to get into these without ruining them. Okay, so I'm going to okay, so I want this up, and then I've already put my strips for a chow because I want it to stand up a little bit. I want to get these three main pieces in here because then I'm going to tuck everything else in behind them. Okay, so I think that's what I'm going to do. Put those there. Okay. And then this has to go down first. And it's such a delicate, tiny piece. I'm not doing any raise. I'm not matting it, and I'm not going to raise it up off the paper. But I want the street light in this scene. Okay, so then this. I'm not sure that that's where I do want this down here. Okay. I'm sorry, it took me quite a while to play around with this to begin with so that I would have everything pretty much laid out the way I wanted it. And you don't get to keep it all together. Okay, down we go. New York and London. I'm going to put a little bit of glue back there. And then I want the hot air balloon up off the page. So just putting a couple of little simple mounts on this. Okay, see now I don't remember where I had this, so I am just going to have to stick it here. I did want 50 cents here, but see I've got it too far forward that way, and I want this one here. So I might have to put this one, maybe put the ticket there. And I do want this one here. Now, how you place them and what you do with them is entirely up to you. You can use different elements. Just because I'm using these doesn't mean you have to. And then the word ciao, I want over here like so, but I don't like that piece there. There we go. I'll just tuck it in there. Okay. There is our front of our album. Oh, I didn't put this down. Make sure that's level. All right, there we go. We are done. That didn't take too awfully long. So when we return, we're going to start our builds on the inside, and I will have all my strips in place. And I hope that you will return. And until then, bye-bye.